It's dark. Your boots splash in ankle-deep water. The air is cold, still, ancient. Your flashlight beam glances over a stone wall, not just any wall, but one built 3,000 years ago. You're deep beneath Jerusalem, and every step could change what history remembers. This isn't a museum tour. This is a Sisterhood Sleuths mission. And your first stop? sisterhoodsleuths.net, where your expedition gear is waiting. Free books that unlock the backstory, VIP access to Kathy Warshaw for insider clues, rare collectibles to mark your discoveries, and private intel that keeps you one step ahead of the society. Welcome to the Sisterhood Sleuths podcast. Today, we're taking you through the city of David, into Warren's shaft, through Hezekiah's tunnel, and straight into the mysteries that refuse to stay buried.
You probably think you have a pretty good handle on Jerusalem, right? I mean, it's a city etched into history, stones whispering tales from millennia ago. But what if I told you it's survival, like it's actual survival during the toughest times, hinged on this engineering marvel, something so audacious it stayed hidden for, nearly 3,000 years? Imagine a secret weapon, basically, hand-carved deep underground, an underground river rerouted with this breathtaking precision. It meant a whole city under siege had fresh water flowing right under the feet of their enemies. It's more than just history. It's kind of unbelievable ancient ingenuity. Okay, so let's get into this. Our mission today is a deep dive into Jerusalem's buried secrets, and we're drawing on some incredible insights from Kathy Warshaw's work here. We're going virtually anyway, right down into the heart of ancient Jerusalem, what's believed to be the original city of David, think kings, prophets, warriors, and lots of buried mysteries. We'll follow the path of this exploration team, uncovering lost royal foundations, secret tunnels, strategic ones, and artifacts that really paint a picture of life and death back then. So if you love those aha moments, discovering just how persistent and clever people were thousands of years ago, then this deep dive is definitely for you. We're talking a shortcut to understanding one of the most significant places on Earth with some facts that, honestly, will probably blow your mind. Our journey kicks off where Jerusalem itself arguably began, the city of David. And just to be clear, this isn't some remote dig site. This is the bedrock, the original core of Jerusalem, hidden under layers and layers of later building, dust, you name it. Millennia of history piled on top. Picture this rugged ridge, strategically crucial, where figures like King David supposedly set up their stronghold. It's where battles raged, laws were made, a whole civilization put down roots, and its story is quite literally buried beneath our feet.
That's exactly right. And to really get Jerusalem's story, you have to look down below the surface. The city you see today, the one most tourists walk around. It's sitting on top of centuries, millennia even, of older settlements. Well, our source material, Kathy Warshaw's piece highlights, is how archaeologists aren't just digging dirt. They're like peeling back layers of human history, layer by layer, revealing the very foundations. And what's really compelling, I think, is how this team, these Sisterhood Sleuths, as Warshaw called them, they're literally touching stones that could have been part of David's earliest buildings. It's not just digging up ruins, it's like reaching across 3,000 years, bringing history back to life, with every find.
And it sounds like it's definitely not a walk in the park. The description makes it clear this is tough work. Navigating dark, maybe cramped tunnels, climbing over crumbling old walls, sifting through tons of debris. It's gritty, hands-on stuff. Really underscores the effort involved. So as this team is navigating these ancient layers, they hit upon something huge. Monumental, really. A massive stepstone structures. It's colossal. Nothing else like it found in the early city of David. And this is where it gets really juicy, right? Where history might need a rewrite. Was this the foundation of King David's palace? Did he actually stand here looking out over his kingdom? It's just stone, but wow, the questions it raises.
That's the core question, isn't it? The sheer scale, the construction. It strongly suggests a major public or royal building, possibly a defensive structure, a citadel maybe, or potentially the base of David's palace, as some archaeologists propose. What really stands out is how a find like this gives us tangible links to these, almost legendary figures. It pulls them out of just stories and into, physical reality. Finding a foundation like this offers insights into how they organized society, projected power, defended their city, and think about the engineering needed. Building something that big on a steep hill back then, it tells you a lot about their capabilities, their foresight. We're not just looking at old rocks, we're seeing the infrastructure of a kingdom starting out.
Okay, so from these potential royal foundations, the story takes maybe a darker turn, certainly deeper. Down underground, into the city's water systems. And let me tell you, based on the source, these weren't just for getting a drink. These underground networks were absolutely vital for Jerusalem's survival, especially during all those sieges it faced. One of the first major features they explored is Warren's shaft. Can you picture it? A vertical shaft plunging down, nearly 50 feet through solid rock. It connects to a tunnel leading straight to the Gihon Spring, the city's main water source. This system meant people could get water from inside the city walls, even with an enemy camped outside. Super clever. And there's that famous theory, right? That David's soldiers might have used a similar secret path to actually capture the city way back when. Descending into it today, you can imagine feeling those cold, damp walls. The air thick with history, strategy, survival. It's intense.
It really is. Warren's shaft was critical, no doubt. But then much later comes Hezekiah's tunnel. And that is just a breathtaking piece of ancient engineering. Truly astonishing. Get this. It's over 1,750 feet long. That's more than 5 football fields. And it was dug entirely by hand. Around 2,700 years ago, about 700 BCE. And this wasn't just digging a ditch. It's a winding tunnel, carved through solid rock. And the most amazing part, 2 teams of diggers started at opposite ends, and somehow, almost miraculously, they met right in the middle. There's even an inscription they found inside, the Solomon inscription, describing that exact moment, the meeting point. You can almost feel their excitement.
And the purpose behind it was just brilliant, strategically speaking, pure genius, really. It took the water from the Gihon Spring, which was outside the city walls, and vulnerable, right? And channeled it all the way to the Pool of Siloam, safely inside the fortifications. This guaranteed Jerusalem had fresh, secure water. It basically made trying to cut off their water supply pointless for an attacking army. Talk about foresight.
Absolutely. I mean, try to picture walking through it. Even today, you're often wading through knee-high water. And just imagine hearing those chisels chipping away through solid rock day after day, probably just by lamplight. The sheer human effort without any modern tech, it's staggering. And the precision. How did 2 teams digging from opposite directions manage to meet up? Archaeologists think they probably used some clever techniques and be listening for each other's hammering through the rock, adjusting course by sound. Some even suggest basic surveying, trying to keep a consistent slope for the water flow. It's really remarkable, and if you connect this to the bigger picture, well, this kind of innovation decided the fate of cities, maybe even empires. Without that secure water, Jerusalem would have been incredibly vulnerable to enemies like the Assyrians. They were knocking at the gates right around that time. So this tunnel, it's not just some old water pipe. It's a key reason the city survived siege after siege. It shows how ingenuity, driven by necessity, can literally change history.
And it's not just the big stuff they're finding down there, right? The deeper they dig, the more comes out. It's the smaller things, too, the everyday items, that really bring the past to life. They're unearthing tiny clay seals, bullae they're called. Some stamped with names of actual royal officials, maybe even kings. Plus bits of broken pottery from ancient meals, inscriptions hinting at forgotten events. It's like finding little messages from the past.
Exactly. And what's so fascinating is that every single one of these little artifacts tells a part of the story. They're not just objects, they're like direct messages. They give us details about the actual people who lived and worked and ruled here thousands of years ago. For instance, finding a bulla, one of those tiny clay ceilings, maybe with the name of a minister mentioned in, say, the book of Jeremiah, like Gemariah, son of Shaphan. Suddenly, that's not just a name in an old text, it's a real person verified. His signature, in a way, or a piece of pottery, maybe with a specific decoration. It tells you about daily life, trade links, maybe even what people thought looked nice back then. These finds fill in the blanks, adding color and context to the big historical picture. They make it real.
Still, even with all these incredible discoveries finds that have genuinely shifted our understanding of ancient Jerusalem, there are still so many unanswered questions. It feels like you uncover one layer and there are 10 more beneath it.
Yeah.
It's such a complex place.
That really raises the big question, doesn't it? What else is still down there? What secrets are still hidden beneath the city of David? Could there be something completely unexpected? A scroll? Another hidden tunnel? Maybe even definitive proof about David's palace? A discovery like that could potentially change everything we think we know. The source material kind of reminds us that history isn't static. Some secrets just don't stay buried forever. The search continues. And just like that team exploring, you, listening right now, can kind of experience that thrill of discovery too. Just by understanding these hidden layers, it's a story still unfolding.
So let's wrap this up. What have we learned? We've taken a pretty deep dive, literally, into ancient Jerusalem's core. We looked at the possible royal foundations in the city of David, marveled at those ingenious water tunnels Warren's shaft, and especially that incredible Hezekiah's tunnel. And we touched on those smaller finds, the artifacts that bring the stories and the people of that time back to life.
Yeah, this deep dive really hammers home that even in places we think we know inside out, like Jerusalem, there are profound mysteries and just astounding human achievements hiding right beneath the surface. Really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other lifelines or foundations products of incredible ingenuity under pressure are hidden right under our feet, in our own cities, our own world, things just waiting to be uncovered? And how might finding them change how we see our past, or even how we understand things right now? What forgotten marvels are out there, just waiting for their moment?
You've seen the stones, you've heard the echoes. Now take the treasures home. Go to sisterhoodsleuths.net. Claim your free books, secure your VIP connection, and lock in the rare gear before the tunnels close behind you. In Jerusalem's buried world, the light fades fast, and the best finds go to those who move first.